Wow. Well, there we have it. My goodness, this is my first time seeing it, so I'm very excited. But I'm going to come straight to you guys. Lando, Oscar, reactions, please.
I think it looks great. Obviously, a bit more papaya this year, especially at the front, which is nice. But you know, obviously keeping with a very similar livery to what's been successful for the last few years. So yeah, just a small tweak, but it's good to see that there's more papaya on there.
Lando?
Similar things. Yeah, some small tweaks, like Oscar said. Main thing is we keep the papaya. We don't change things too much. As I love the test livery that we had, this is the one that's always going to be better throughout the course of a season on TV and all those things. So sticking to what worked.
Now, Zach, the car looks noticeably different, but as the guys have touched on, livery is very similar, and as they've said, there is a reason for that. That's intentional.
We don't want to change what's been successful, and the papaya looks amazing. Our partners are awesome. This MasterCard era and Gemini with Google and OKX. I mean, the list goes on of just unbelievable companies that are supporting us. Car's a little bit smaller. When you hear it, sounds good. The HPP Mercedes engine is amazing. So I'm looking forward to getting racing.
Now, Andrea, you've been in Formula One for 25 years. You've seen a lot. Is this car, this era of car, unlike anything you've ever seen before?
Well, every generation of new cars brings a new character. I think this car has character. It's cool, it's racy, and I think it's good that it's also a little narrower, a little shorter, a little lighter. I think we have gone probably a bit too far with the previous generation. I think this will be very good Formula One cars.
Now, you both have been able to get behind the wheel of the car at the Barcelona shakedown. Oscar, what was it like being behind the wheel? How did the shakedown go?
It was good to get back out on track, and you know, I think experience, you know, just how different these cars are going to be from you know, various different angles that we mentioned before. But at the end of the day, it's still a Formula One car. It's quick, and especially in a straight line nowadays, the acceleration with these new engines is seriously impressive. So it's going to be fun to get back out again in Bahrain and get stuck into it properly in Melbourne.
Lando, what kind of feel were you getting from the car behind the wheel? Did it remind you of one of the pre-ground effect cars that you drove when you first came into Formula One?
I mean, it certainly feels different to all the ones that I've raced. So it's definitely more, you know, pre-2017, 18. So not really like I've driven, but more like almost like F2 in some ways, in terms of more power, a bit more undergripped. Which is going to make it more of a challenge behind the wheel, which is exciting. You know, it's our job to drive whatever we get driven in the end of the day.
I sure hope it's not like our 2017 car.
You know, it definitely won't be. So, yeah, it's exciting. We know we're in a better place than we've ever been, and excited to see, you know, what the team have put together for sure.
Lando, more power, less grip. Bring on the first wet race, right?
Well, yeah, that's. I'm sure that's in the back of everyone's mind, is what that's going to be like. Especially Melbourne. You know, like Melbourne race last year was chaos. If we don't get to test until then, it's going to be something new for everyone and a big challenge for us inside the car. So something I think we're all looking forward to.
And Oscar, is there a particular track that you think these new cars will be suited to, or ones that you're really looking forward to getting out on?
I think,
Bahrain.
Yeah, Bahrain.
Yeah. Let's start there.
Yeah, exactly. I think generally the tighter, slower speed circuits will be a bit better in these cars. Obviously, as we've said, a bit smaller, a bit narrower, a little bit lighter as well. So places like Monaco, Singapore, hopefully they're a little bit more friendly for these cars. The high-speed circuits are going to be quite different because that's where the previous generations of cars were so impressive. But I think generally the smaller circuits hopefully will be a little bit more, not that they weren't fun before, but I think they'll suit these smaller cars a little bit better.
And Zach, it's been such a tour de force by the whole team to create this car. Just how did it feel to see it hit the track for the first time at the Barcelona shakedown?
It's amazing the amount of work the men and women at McLaren put in everybody, right? There are those people that touch and build the car, but the team effort of the entire group to come together to build this car is amazing to watch it come together, and a very, very proud moment when you see it fire up for the first time.
can only imagine. Zach, Oscar and Lando, thank you so much for joining us for the reveal and to chat through. We will be back with you guys for the grand finale shortly, but you may go and get comfy on the sofas because we are going to delve into some of the technical detail now. Andrea, you're sticking with us and we are welcoming Chief Designer Rob Marshall. Hello, Rob.
Hi.
Lovely to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. Okay, first question has to be, just how big of a project has the MCL 40 been?
Well, there's at least 18 months of work behind the making of this car, lots of design, lots of innovation, production, manufacturing. It's been a huge undertaking, but no one is more qualified than Rob to actually explain it. So I would hand it over to you, Rob.
Okay. Yeah, so it's all new car, front to back, new regulations. As people have touched upon, cars a bit shorter. It's actually quite a lot shorter than previous cars, a lot lighter. Coupled with a brand new power unit, 50/50 hybrid, and a new set of aero regulations designed to try and reduce the size of the weight behind the car, make overtaking a bit easier. If you start from the front, the new front wing is still sort of arrowhead like the previous generation, but it's a bit lower and have a much broader and wider footplate, end plate than we used to have. And also the front wing is now actuated, much like the old DRS. These new cars have got a straight line mode where both the front and rear wings will move their flaps to reduce the drag on the car and help the car get down the straights faster. There's quite a lot of freedom on how you actuate that. I think we'll see different solutions from different cars on the grid. Moving a bit further back, you've got the nose, the crash structure, which is basically from here to here. That's all new again. The regulations have changed this year where we need to make sure that after it's like a small shunt, that's enough to knock the front wing off, maybe the front half of the nose. The remaining part still serves its function as in saving the driver in a secondary crash against another barrier. So that's significantly complicated the design work going into the nose. Then we've got front suspension. Again, last year's front suspension was, I think, very innovative, and so is this. We've done quite a few changes, which I hope benefit us. And as we go rearward, then we've got the main body of the chassis. Again, all new regulations, much tougher homologation requirements. So the crash tests and the squeezes that go into the chassis are quite brutal this year. And a lot of effort and research has gone in to try and make those, make the car able to withstand those. Also, as I touched upon, the car's so much shorter. So a lot of the packaging of where radiators and electrical boxes, which would tend to typically get scattered around the car, finding homes for those has been very difficult. There's just less space to put them all. What's helped us there is the fuel tank is a bit smaller. We're going to use less fuel in the race. From an aerodynamic point of view, in this region here, gone are the very sort of curved underfloors that we had with last year's cars. We're replaced with a much more flat-bottom car like we had in previous generations. And then as we go rearward again, we've got our rear suspension is actually a bit of an iteration of last year's. We're quite very happy with what we did last year, and so we just built upon that. Redesigned the gearbox to make it lighter and shorter for the obvious reasons. And then the rear wing is similar-ish to last year's, and the actuation mechanism is a bit like old-school DRS, but it's now mounted on two pylons, and yeah, it will now operate in conjunction with the front wing, as I said.
Huge work.
It's
by
a massive amount.
Everyone at the MTC. What has been the most challenging aspect in the design of it?
I think the most challenging aspect has been coordinating the design and timing it with last year, really, when we were obviously fighting for one championship and looking to get our best foot forward for the next. So deciding when to put all your effort into this is probably the hardest thing, actually.
And Andrea, how steep of a learning curve has this project been, and how steep of a learning curve will it continue to be as we go through the year?
Yeah, very steep. Every day was important. Every day we accumulated some design, some innovation, some performance, but it will stay the same throughout the season. So irrespectively of the pecking order at the first race, I think the first season will be a game of development, and who will have developed the most actually may be the successful one at the end of the season.
And I have to ask, did challenging for the championship so late into 2025 have any impact on the 2026 development?
You know, we needed to reflect on the resources that we invested on pursuing the championship and onto the new car. We think we have achieved the right balance, so we are optimistic that the MCL 40 will be a strong contender.
It's still very early days, but do you know where the main development areas are going to be with this car?
Well, it's all new, like Rob explained, but the reference will always be made by the fundamentals. So the development will be to achieve the maximum aerodynamic efficiency, to get the car to interact with the tires as well as possible, mechanical grip with the suspensions, and it will also go in the power unit. And this year, more than ever, I think the power unit will depend on how the drivers interact with the power units. So lots of areas to develop, lots of areas to make the difference with.
And do you think the drivers are going to be on top of it when we go to Melbourne, or do you think they'll continue to learn as the season progresses?
I think the learning curve will involve this area as well, you know, like interacting with the power unit. And this is also because we engineers, or all the engineers, HPP, McLaren, all teams, will learn more and more about the power unit, will develop the power unit. So the drivers will have to stay in tune with this development. It's interesting, something to look forward to.
We have the drivers right over there and I can see them discussing with one another. Are you agreeing with what Andrea and Rob are saying here about needing to stay in tune?
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely, of course, of course.
Do you think you'll be fully on top of it by the time we go to Melbourne, or will it take more time?
Absolutely, yes.
As Zach says, that's why we get paid a lot, so we better be.
Love that, absolutely love that. Thank you very much, guys. Well, it looks fantastic, and what an event this has been. Thank you so much for the insight, Rob and Andrea, and taking us through all of this. We're going to get everyone back here. Lando and Oscar, you come and join us over on this side, and Lou and Zach, you come and join us too. Final words, I think, need to go to you two. So Oscar, coming to you first. What are your final words for everyone who's watching back at home?
Yeah, thank you very much for all the support, and thank you to the whole team as well. Obviously we've got the team here trackside, but the team back at the factory as well that have made this car, and hopefully it's as successful as the last couple. But thanks to all the fans, all our partners as well for making this possible as well. And yeah, looking forward to another successful year, hopefully.
That's what we're looking for. And Lando, you will be rolling out with the #1 on the car.
Yes. No, I'm excited. This, and with my suit and everything, like it's pretty special to look at. So special for me, special for the whole team. You know, I have a championship, and also we have a championship to try and defend. But like Oscar said, Oscar covered it well. To see it all together, this is the first time I've seen it all together, is huge props to everyone in MTC back at home, everyone here who's just put it together now. And it's nice to reveal it here in Bahrain, but our second home as a team. So a pleasure and excited to get behind the wheel.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining us, and good luck for the season ahead.